YouTube, what's going on? Today we're going to be reviewing a fragrance that is very artistic but still wearable from the house of Comme de Garcons, Black. Stay tuned.
Bring it back, come rewind. Bring it back, come rewind.
All right, so Comme de Garcons is a 2013 release, and it comes in a 100 ml bottle, and the price point is usually at least 100 up to like about 120, somewhere in that ballpark. I've never seen it in a 50 ml or a 30 ml, so I don't know if they're available, but I always see the 100 ml, and it does come in an EDT concentration. Because this fragrance is very artistic, you can't really, I think, approach it the same way you do a more mass appealing fragrance. I think a lot of folks will make a fragrance selection or choice based upon the opening. How does it smell when you first spray it? This isn't that type of fragrance. This is the type of fragrance you kind of have to let develop. So what does it smell like? Okay, these are the notes. I wrote them down. I wanted to give you guys all the notes so I can kind of get into my own little interpretation of it. So you've got pepper, incense, olibanum, leather, licorice, birch, pepperwood, cedar, and vetiver. All right, so for me, it's got this really bold, brash, like peppery accord or note. And then you've got this smoky, incense-like accord. And then sandwiched right in between that, you've got this sticky, sweet-like accord in the middle. And that accord kind of reminds me of syrup and bacon. And I know it sounds so weird, and fragrance can be so random sometimes in regard to how it can remind you of something that's just everyday, mundane. It reminds me of a plate that had pancakes and bacon on it. And, you know, the bacon and pancakes have been eaten, but you've got that residue of the two on a plate. And if the plate sits for a while and you have to rinse it off, something about the way that plate smells, that sweet, sticky accord kind of reminds me of that. I'm not saying it smells like New Harlem by Bond Number 9 or the Michael Jordan fragrance. I'm not saying that at all, but something about that sweet, sticky accord makes me think of that. That's kind of what I get. So you've got those really bold notes, the peppery note and the smoky note, sandwiching that sweet, sticky accord. And it's really rough, it's really brash, and it's like that in the opening for like a good, when you first spray it, man, I want to say like 40, 45 minutes, something like that. Then what begins to happen is it begins to meld together. Those notes begin to meld together, and all of the rough, brash edges begin to fall off. And little by little by little, it becomes smoother and smoother and smoother till you have this really nice, very unique, you know, peppery, sweet, smoky accord or you know, fragrance. And as you get to the further dry down, I'm talking like 5-6 hours out, it's like there's the birch and the vetiver, and they come out. And hold on one second, this guy. Excuse me. And as you get down to the, you know, the far dry down, the birch and the vetiver, they kind of come out and they make themselves known. And the birch, again, is that smokiness, but you can kind of tell that it's the birch accord or note. And then the vetiver is like this earthy, rooty almost vetiver that comes out. And it's nice, but you have to get to that. This is a niche styling from Comme de Garcons. Comme de Garcons is a pretty unique house, and they don't do the typical, and this is not the typical. It reminds me of having a piece in your wardrobe that is a statement piece, that is, I don't want to say a showstopper, but really is very, very different. You're very proud of it. You really love having it in the wardrobe, but you don't wear it all the time. You pull it out for certain occasions. For guys, it might be a really poppin' sports coat or sweater or even a jacket, a pair of kicks, pair of dress shoes. For women, it might be a funky dress with a pair of pumps, or a funky handbag or something that it really pops, but you don't really wear it all the time because it's very specific. That's what this fragrance reminds me of. I really think this fragrance for me would be better if it came in like a 30 mil or 50 mil, because I can't see myself using a 100 mil all the way. It's just too unique, too very specific. I don't see myself wearing it enough to go through this whole bottle. I'm happy to have it in the collection, and I'm not trying to talk anybody off of this fragrance. If you smell it and you love it and you want to wear it every day, more power to you. I just think that for me, it's a very specific type of fragrance that I'll pull out for certain things, and I won't be wearing it every day. But outside of that, I think it's a pretty good release, and it's a release that I feel like a specific person would really enjoy. It's for a very specific taste. It's not going to appeal to everybody, in my opinion, but it's still a very nice fragrance. And if you give it a chance, you would see the same thing, in my opinion. So that's my very brief review of Comme de Garcons Black. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you always for sticking around, checking the video, and stopping by the channel. I do appreciate it. Talk to you guys later. See you soon.